Hi there, my name is Jonathan Morgan from CIPS, Head of International Business and Partnerships. Just like to say a big thank you to Marina and Victoria for the invitation to join the virtual conference. I know that there's been a lot of work that's gone into it, so congratulations on your perseverance, your capability to change and getting the conference up and running. I think you've done a tremendous job and I'm certain that it will go well, so thank you. Ukraine is a very important country for us here at CIPS. We are just in the process of starting our new partnership there, along with Marina and Victoria, and we've recently awarded the Corporate Certificate of Excellence to Ucronegro, along with the EBRD. This is a first for the country and a tremendous achievement, so congratulations to everybody at EBRD. I'd like to take the opportunity today to talk about the challenging period we've had, what we've learned from it, and where we think we will go with it going forwards. I've never, in my career, I'm sure many others have known disruption on the scale that we've seen. I'm sure that none of us a year ago would have placed a business continuity plan where every economy would suffer so severely, flights would stop, a global pandemic would take hold. And I think that it's important that we learn from these times and rethink the way our organisations operate, as well as how and where we source our goods and services. Here at CIPS, we've spoken to many procurement leaders, supply chain specialists, CEOs, and one thing that has been abundantly clear is the profile and praise for procurement and supply teams has been phenomenal. The issues that have been faced by the COVID crisis have put procurement teams at the heart of the many issues that the businesses have faced. I think it's now time for the procurement teams to ride the wave and position ourselves as strategic partners to aid recovery for both businesses and the wider economy. There are some themes that I've observed over the recent months that will hopefully change the face of procurement in organisations for the good. Just share my screen quickly with you. So, the first area is collaboration. Despite the huge supply chain disruption, we've seen great organisations and suppliers and even competitors, for example, supermarkets and food producers, working closely together to ensure that nations across the globe have sufficient food that they could access. We've had many stories of buyers supporting suppliers to ensure they remain afloat. One example being in the hospitality sector, helping suppliers reroute fresh produce from hotels and restaurants into consumer outlets, ensuring that people could eat during the lockdown. I hope the cooperation opportunities continue. Relationships and knowledge sharing is a big part of this, and the power of working more collaboratively will certainly help for a more efficient and quicker recovery. The support for smaller or more fragile suppliers was also encouraging, with organisations being more mindful about paying suppliers promptly. Morrison's supermarket in the UK offering immediate payment for small suppliers, and governments encouraging open conversations with suppliers to ensure liquidity was there that was sufficient to ride the storm. Will this time perhaps encourage more transparency and an open book approach to the way we manage our suppliers going forward. Taking a case-by-case approach to payment terms and having an open dialogue about a solution that works for all parties is what's required. Hero moments like these will be remembered for a long time, and how organisations operate and treat their employees, customers and suppliers will undoubtedly pay dividends in the future. Making sure that teams and organisations are remembered for the right reasons during challenging times is front and centre for longevity. Conversely, those sectors who didn't collaborate were often hit the hardest. The confusion at the beginning of national lockdowns caused many construction suppliers to lose their operations and furlough their staff. This obviously made it impossible to source critical items for projects to continue. The disconnect between the business and the supply chain cannot continue if recovery is to be smooth and efficient, but also to avoid future disruption. There are many challenges and opportunities out there, and a recurring theme I've observed is the focus on procurement's power to build back better and putting more social value and goals into contracts to enable local communities to help alleviate some of the pinch points the pandemic has caused. Whether that's helping people get back to work, reducing carbon emissions, or supporting and developing small businesses, I think it's important that we all play our part in building back a better, more robust and sustainable economy. It's important that procurement professionals remain ever vigilant to the responsibility and sustainability agenda, something that's easy to put on the back burner during busy times. The COVID-19 crisis has provided the perfect environment for fraud and those looking to exploit the situation, often knocking buyers off guard when they were being overstretched and under incredible strain to deliver. Here in the UK, we've seen horrific labour abuses that have occurred. Anti-slavery instances in London and Leicester are no doubt not isolated. They've probably been replicated all over the globe. We've heard of endless counts of fraud and payment fraud or counterfeit products, with unfortunately the most common and the one attracting the most headlines being PPE, something that was crucial and is crucial to our frontline staff. This has undoubtedly thrown many buyers off, particularly when they've had to focus elsewhere, where they were understaffed or the additional burden of getting goods out quickly as possible to keep factories going or their staff and customers safe. There have been winners and losers in terms of business success and resilience throughout the 12 months. The impact of COVID-19 has had a dramatic effect on the construction sector, with potential long-lasting consequences unless major change is reenacted. The sector suffered one of its worst results in April and May of this year, according to the Purchasing Managers Index, as building work was grounded by the pandemic and lockdown measures. Construction and its ability to bounce back is critical to the success of driving economic recovery. So having the right procurement capability with the right supply chains in place, which are geared to deal with increased productivity, will be another key to success. Supply chains are an ecosystem which are highly interlinked and fragile, with vulnerability points having a butterfly effect through the globe. In order for supply chains to be more robust, procurement should focus their efforts on supply chain vulnerability. Many contracting models often push risk further down the supply chain with little or no visibility. More transparency and a review and rebalance of risk is required, with thorough mapping of supply chains to fully understand the areas of vulnerability. Better controls need to be put in place to ensure that risks have been considered and every effort is made to mitigate them. All businesses need resilient supply chains with full supply chain transparency, better planning, risk assessment and mitigation, and a focus on value rather than just price. All this balanced with a greater focus on ethics and integrity and a commitment to building a more sustainable future. Now is the time to change so that when the next crisis hits, supply chains are more able to withstand the pressures and their operations can continue effectively. The biggest incoming call we've had within CIPS has been, my supply chain isn't working, how do I fix it? And a lot of the success that we've had is using subject matter experts with really good track records, getting into business and diagnosing the problems. It's not all about the excellence that I spoke about at the start. Sometimes we just need them to work. I'm here for any questions. Please submit them. And I hope very much to be with you all next year, face to face, so we can have a chat. Enjoy the rest of your conference. Many thanks.